the Madman! Welcome to the top custom Hearthstone cards of the week. Let's start with a cutie, Golden Retriever. 3 mana 4/2, Battle Cry, discover a copy of a card you played this game, make it golden. Design 4 stars, balance 2 stars. I like the card a lot. Clearly it's taking a note off of Zola for adding that extra flavor where the Golden Retriever is fetching you a golden card. How adorable! But there are some major issues with the card. The first one I'm going to address is the design issue. It's bad form to come up with a card that can go infinite off of itself, especially for the stats, especially if it's consistent. If you play the Golden Retriever on turn 3, you're pretty much always going to be offered a Golden Retriever. If you continue playing Golden Retrievers late in the game, because you've played so many Golden Retrievers, you're very likely to get offered a Golden Retriever. To fix that design problem, it should simply say, discover a copy of another card you played this game. Secondly, the balance. This is a 3 mana 4/2, which gets you a card that you've played in the past, which means it was good enough to put in your deck, which means it's a very good card. Blizzard already pushed the card strength of such a card with Full Para Scoundrel. I feel like that's the strongest you can make a Discover card, where it discovers a spell plus offers another additional option, and that's a 3 mana 2/3, and it does see some mana play. So this is just too many stats for a card that's getting you a good card. So therefore I suggest making it a 3 mana 2/2. Imagine if you played this after Zephyrus, for example. Turn 2 Zephyrus, turn 3 Golden Retriever, get another Zephyrus. That's really sweet. This can get your Zul'jin. Yes, you don't always get the Zul'jin because it's Discover, it's not guaranteed, but the chance for such a high roll is there. So I love the idea of a Golden Retriever fetching you a golden card. Just gotta fix those things. Paco, Spell Reflector. A Paladin 6 mana 1/6 legendary. After you cast a spell on a minion, cast it on all minions on the board. Design 3 stars, balance 5 stars. This card was part of the design competition of building a meek card, in terms of stats, yet mighty. And certainly Paco fits that description, being a measly 1/6 for 6 mana, but having a huge effect. Cast Paco and Blessing of Kings, and you're giving +4/+4 to all minions. Paco plus Blessing of Might, and you're getting a permanent Bloodlust. Paco plus Blessing of Wisdom, and you get so many cards. I hope I stated the word Paco enough to lead into why the design is a 3-star. What is a Paco? Why does he reflect spells? Is this card actually reflecting spells? No, it's amplifying spells. The name is ridiculous, and yes, I have decided to dock a point because of the name, and another point because the title Spell Reflector is wrong. It should be Spell Amplifier if you're even gonna keep that long a title in the name. And also, the R is lowercase and there's a period. I know that may sound minor, and it is nitpicking on grammar, but a lot of what goes into card design is all bundled in with the art and the name of the card, and I feel like this is really emphasized because my last episode of Top Custom Cards, it was all about naming and art. So nothing against the Pacos of the world, but it does not fit the Paladin naming convention. Pack Leader, 2 mana 2/1 Beast, Battlecry, gain +1/+1 for each adjacent minion. Design 5 stars, balance 5 stars. I like it. It's a nice simple effect on a common card. Potential to be a 2 mana 4/3. Average case, 2 mana 3/2. Weak case if you're desperate, 2 mana 2/1, but you'll probably not play it as a 2 mana 2/1. Wouldn't be that hard to imagine you having a board of 2 things going into turn 2. I feel like that would be okay. Your opponent does have some counterplay in killing a 1 mana guy, and if they don't, and you high roll the 2 mana 4/3, okay, fine. No one's really excited by a 2 mana 3/2, so you really have to have 2 minions on the board before it becomes like considered a good card. So, nice and simple. Wisefin Guru, 1 mana 1/2 Murloc for Shaman. Battle Cry, your hero power becomes summon a random elemental Murloc. And the Murlocs are simply the totems, except they are Murlocs. Design 3 stars. Balance, 5 stars. So this card is basically Valfin Inquisitor from Paladin. It's a little bit strange that it's a 1-2 instead of a 1-3, but Shaman Murlocs are a big thing right now. And would this card as a 1-3 fit into that deck? Absolutely. 1 mana 1-3 Murloc is just too strong for that deck right now. So they were right to break the symmetry of it and make it a 1 mana 1-2. Perhaps in order to have the mirror and feel good about the card mirroring, this card could be printed after Underbelly Angler rotates out. As stands, absolutely not. Design gets a 3 because it is just Valfin Inquisitor reskinned into Shaman, which is okay. Fine card. Drinking Partner, 4 mana 2-3. Battle Cry, choose a friendly minion. While this and it are alive, both have +2/+2. Design 5 stars, balance 5 stars. Really cool card. One could look at it initially and say, wow, that's a Yeti. That also gives another card +2/+2. And yeah, that would be very strong, but when the other card dies, this gets -2/-2. And also, if this card dies, the other card gets -2/-2. You would probably kill the other card because of the +2/+2. They might be using it to trade into something, so it'd be easier to kill the Drinking Partner's partner first and then kill the Drinking Partner. Or rather, just leave the Drinking Partner as just a 2 mana 2-3. From that perspective, a 4 mana 2-3 that gives a card +2/+2, that's not too bad. Also, the card has the additional drawback of not just being a Yeti. You need to have someone to be a Drinking Partner with in order to even play Drinking Partner. A card that's really bad by itself. Rite of Mor's Serta. Warlock Quest Legendary. 1 mana. Inspire. Give all demons in your hand +2/+2 quest. Draw 12 cards. Reward. Die. Horribly. Design 2 stars. Balance 2 stars. There's something fundamentally wrong with the design of this card. And no, it's not just the fact that it has Inspire, which is an old mechanic that has been retired. What is more pressing is that this is a quest with the reward of losing the game. And while I appreciate the idea of this kind of drawback card, a card that grants you a lot of benefit, but causes you to die, I strongly believe that it should not be on a quest. And perhaps out of all of the classes, Warlock does fit this the best, but still, you're not questing to die. Might be better as a spell. That's why I even have design as 2 stars, because I think the idea is good. It's just that this is implemented the wrong way, I would say. The balance is a 2 star because the card is surprisingly too strong. Imagine a card like Doubling Imp getting +2/+2. Not just +2/+2, but +2/+2 each time you use your hero power. Your hero power for 2 mana buffs all of your demons. That's a really strong hand buff mechanism. Plus, you use your hero power and you draw another card, which could be a demon. I think that the card is very, very strong, and you would play it, and then you would tap on the same turn, you would tap the next turn, you would tap the turn after that, and that's only 5/12 of the way to killing yourself, which means you still have another 7 turns that kill your opponent with +6/+6 minions. I think that's more than enough time when you're playing a 3 mana Doubling Imp, which creates an 8/8 and another 8/8. I would say you should even tap another time and then just play 10/10 Doubling Imps. It's crazy. So I credit the cool idea of playing something that puts you on a track to losing after a set amount of turns. However, I just cannot give the okay of this card on a quest. All quests should have an actual good reward on them instead of dying. Unit Remote. A warrior weapon, 5 mana 1/1, Death Rattle, summon a 5/5 war gear. Design 5 stars, balance 5 stars. Originally, I looked at this card and I thought, pathetically weak. You guys might have done that too. But I started appreciating the subtleties of it. Sometimes you're playing a control warrior and you just want to armor up and pass. Why? Because you have Brawl or you have Warpath in your hand and you want your opponent to commit more to the board. What better thing to do than play a nothing and be able to activate a 5/5 war gear after your board clear turn, which enables you to swing back onto the board a lot. You play the Brawl, and then you attack with the Unit Remote, and maybe even past that, you magnetize the Ziliax onto the war gear, and then you attack the remaining Brawl target. Now that's a swing turn. So I would say it's completely fine that it looks like it's just a 5 mana 5/5 with Battle Cry, deal 1 damage. Because that's just the baseline of the card if you use it normally. If you use it cleverly with the board clear and you cause a massive swing, like that's using the card pretty well, so it's a nice skill testing card. Toki the Time Bender. 4 mana 5/4 legendary, battle cry. If this is the first card you play this game, period, take an extra turn after this one. Now I emphasize the grammar because I was having this big debate. First it happened with Paco, but now with Toki. Do you take points off for bad grammar? I think my conclusion is yes in severe cases. But even separate from this, design 1 star, balance 4 stars. Toki the Time Bender has a few problems. I'll just quickly glance by. No period at the end, capital T, capital B. Take out the is. There's a colon next to the battle cry. There should not be a space after battle cry. The period should be a comma after you play this game, comma. But let's get to the fundamental problem with this card. It's the ultimate in high rolling. Whereas Coloseth at least gives your deck +1/+1, no matter where you play it, Toki the Time Bender only takes an effect if you draw this legendary exactly by turn 4. Otherwise, it's not going to be played. That is such a big problem that I don't even know where to begin. It's like the ultimate in high rolling. But what's even additionally worse is that this is so close to the Druid quest, basically skipping your first 4 turns. Toki the Time Bender similarly just has you skip the first 3 turns, so you're bleeding class identity. It's a Druid thing that you're patient and waiting. It's not a mage thing. There's also a balance flaw to this, where the quest reward is not enough. Well, the reward for waiting is not enough. Whereas Druid quests get to start playing insane 5/5 rushes. What does the mage do? Well, they get 1 turn on turn 4. It's not that big a deal. It is a big deal, but when you're skipping turns 1, 2, and 3, The balance is only a 4 star because a vanilla 4 mana 5/4 is like close to balance. Could you change the card quite a bit in order to have this work? You could make it if this is the first minion you play this game, but there's so much high rolling involved, and also if you did change it to if this is the first minion you play, you create degenerate OTK decks where you just don't run minions and you play heavy spells and freezes, and in the late game you play this and you do some insane double turn thing. By the way, if I said it was a mage card, I actually so strongly identify Toki with being a mage that I may have been blinded by all the blue. It's a neutral card, which is even more surprising. So is this bad as a neutral card? Well, for all the same reasons as the mage, yes, it's also bad as a neutral. But also, taking extra turns is very strongly a mage effect. So there's so many things wrong with this that I don't even know where to begin. Queen Azshara. 7 mana, 5/5, priest legendary. Battle cry. Teach your hero a 1-cost priest spell. What that does is it takes the pool of 1 mana priest spells, you discover 1, and then your hero power, which costs 2 mana, becomes that. Design 3 stars, balance 1 star. I think it's a really cool idea. I think it's a good use of the word teach, but there's something fundamentally wrong with this card, and there's the infinite value problem. There's a few really strong choices you get with this for the infinite value. There's Cloning Gallery, and there's Mind Vision. With Queen Azshara teaching Cloning Device, you simply just keep replaying minions in your opponent's deck, and your opponent's gonna get really tired of that when you play like the 5th copy of the card that's in their deck. And then the same thing with Mind Vision. They'll feel the despair as you continue to take their card and then keep playing it. So much value. Way better than even Dr. Boom Mad Genius's Discover of a Random Mech. Very, very oppressive, and fills your opponent with despair, and not in a good way. Some cards make your opponent despair in a fun way. But Queen Azshara, and yes, she's a serious boss, but just continuing playing the same card over and over against the opponent, and even worse, it's from their deck or their hand. That's real bad. You could argue they can play around Mind Vision by them just emptying their hand, and the Mind Vision card isn't very good when you're up against an aggro deck, but you just choose something else. Like maybe Power Word Shield, where you give a minion +2 health and then you draw a card. So I like the idea of this, but I don't think even if you gate this card behind a quest, I think that's still too oppressive. So a really cool idea, but I don't think it can be implemented without having to jump through more serious hoops than simply playing a 7 mana 5/5. So balance is 2 stars because I think it's too overpowered. I think it's too overpowered even at 10 mana. And that brings us to the trump card of the week. Secret Deal. Rogue 1 mana spell, discover a secret from another class. Rogues had secrets before, but no longer do. So why not just get them from other classes? Design 5 stars, balance 5 stars. Really elegant design, 3 words of text, very helpful parentheses, very flavorful for rogues, a cool way for a rogue to generate a card from another class for the cards that care about cards from another class, such as the quest. And unlike Pilfer, which sucks, Secret Deal gives you a little bit more agency on what to get. At the same time, secrets all pretty much are not typically worth the mana cost, so paying 1 mana on top of the cost is not very good. But because it's rogue and because you usually use a card from another class in another way, this could work. I think if you wanted to push this card, you could even put this on a 1/1 minion. Maybe it would be called a Secret Dealer then. Depends on how strong you want to make the card. But I think even as is, it's fine, though a little bit on the weak side. One viewer had a cool suggestion to add, and while this subtracts from the elegance of the card, which is why I might pitch for it to be on a minion instead, it could read, discover a secret from another class, combo, the secret costs 1 less. That might be interesting. And now, I'm going to end this with a really interesting finale. People have asked, Trump, would you design cards? And designing cards is actually really hard, and there's a lot of different styles of designing cards. I think of myself more as a critiquer, an editor, so perhaps I wouldn't be part of initial design, but I might be part of the intermediate design. And here's an example of this. It's the type of card that takes someone's homework and adjusts it a little bit so that nobody knows. Welcome to Guinea Pig. 2 mana 1/1 beast. Charge Divine Shield. When this minion triggers a secret, add a copy of that secret to your hand. I like this card because it's a little bit reminiscent of a Stone-Tusk Boar. A Guinea Pig has kind of that same inclination, so it has the 1/1 charge. I think it's clever to have the charge in Divine Shield because this can trigger so many different types of traps. The charge is essential in being able to check for that. Even though a charge card hasn't been printed for a while, a 2 mana charge that only has 1 attack, that should be absolutely fine. And while it's a really strong counter to secrets, the secrets still do trigger, and I think it's really cool that your Guinea Pig triggers the secrets, as a guinea pig is often something that is used to test for stuff. The inspiration for this card comes from the very first week of custom Hearthstone cards that I've done, Bahab's Willing Test Subject card, which I critiqued as very interesting, but has the problem of having a high health amount with charge for priest. I could just do the Divine Spirit Inner Fire thing on this. Let me know if you find this section also interesting, the part where I take a card from my older review and then adjust it, the type of, copy the homework but change it just enough so the teacher doesn't notice, instead of perhaps coming up with completely new ones, which is admittedly cooler, but it's not really my strength.